Hi everyone, this is Chico's Blue for Cats podcast, and we are together with another episode. Today we will talk about black cats because it is October, and not only October, but we will publish our 13th episode, which also is another superstitious number among also the wrong beliefs of black cats. And I have my coworker and our certified veterinary assistant Bre with me together, and as well as our practice manager Cheryl. Hi to you both.
Hello.
So why don't we just get to it right away, and I want to tell you guys what list we're using here for these 27 cats is seniorcatwellness.com. That's where we got this 27 interesting facts about black cats. And we're just going to start with number one. Why don't you tell us what number one is, Bre?
All right, so number one is there are more breeds of black cat than any other color.
You guys agree with that? Because I always feel like there's less black cats to see around.
I would agree. I feel like I see them less.
Really?
Tabbies, I feel like I see the most of.
Yeah, but it says there are more breeds of black cats than others. It feels to me like there are less black cats around sometimes. Don't you think so? Or do you think it's the opposite?
No, I think there's less. I would say that I would agree with you.
Okay. What do you think, Cheryl? Do you feel like you see a lot of black cats?
We actually all of a sudden have a bunch in our neighborhood, so I don't know if they're from the same litter or whatever, but I think there are 3 or 4 solid black cats in my neighborhood that
maybe
seem
they're
to be
migrating because October is coming?
Maybe it could be, but all of a sudden there's just a bunch, and it's like how interesting that you all of a sudden, there weren't any for years, and now all of a sudden I think we have 4. So it's kind of I'm saying they're on the rise.
It could be, yeah.
Well, there are 22 breeds of cats listed, according to this website, and many people consider black cats to be a breed unto themselves. In fact, 21 different cat breeds could have black from fur among different shades.
Okay.
Interesting.
Let's just go with number 2 then. Why don't you tell us what number 2 is, Cheryl?
The Bombay is the only pure black cat in the world. Interesting.
The Bombay is definitely a very attractive breed, though. I like those cats.
They're like little Black Panthers.
Yeah. Although we think like a lot of cats are maybe pure black cats. Actually, they're not. They're just a mix, But looks like Bombay is the winner here to be the most
the only
charisma.
It's the only pure black cat. Yeah. And it says there's only one black cat in the world of domestic felines. This is the Bombay cat, which was first bred in Kentucky in 1958.
Wow.
The breeder, Nikki Horner, wanted a pet that resembled a Black Panther. She achieved this by crossbreeding a Burmese and an American Shorthair. It remains a popular family pet to this day.
Yeah, definitely. Bre, you called that Panther.
They're just like little sleek little,
They sound beautiful.
Well, I'll go with the next one. I'll go with the next one. Number 3, we have black fur in cats is caused by melanism. And for those who ask what melanism is, it's the opposite of albinism. It's a mutation that causes animals to appear black, obviously. So they're black, but they're special. I like that because most people think black cat equals to like trouble in like older times, and this shows us another rare special side of them. There's some additional info there too.
So this doesn't mean that a melanistic cat will be pure black. It remains the sole reserve of the Bombay cat. It may, however, be difficult to tell the difference at a glance. Melanism is also responsible for the striking golden eyes that we associate with most black cats.
But the two go together.
Yeah.
It's interesting that happens. Number 4 is black is a dominant gene, but tabby is a dominant pattern, which is great because that's my favorite.
I do want to say about this dominant pattern and colors and stuff, or Dr. Kleiman, who retired, was very picky about entering these store files as well. Do you remember that?
Yes, absolutely. The black fur found on a cat complements of a dominant gene. That means that any kitten with one black cat parent will carry the gene.
Nice.
It takes 2 black cats mating to guarantee a black litter. though. Tabby remains the dominant pattern of any cat. However, unless a kitten in question is a Bombay, their black fur will contain a tabby pattern.
The Bombay is back again.
Yeah, exactly.
On to 5. Black cats are considered lucky in some cultures, unlucky in others.
I honestly don't know which cultures it is considered lucky, so enlighten
How about
us.
Turkey? What do they think about black cats?
From my experience, I think it's considered unlucky. Also, there's another interesting thing I want to share really quick with you guys. If you see a cat walking under the stairs, that is considered extra unlucky.
Like a ladder?
Yeah, ladder, or but even stairs. Like, let's say there's a building that has stairs going up, and you see a cat going under it and towards you or something, people definitely will change
direction. It doesn't have to be black. It can be any cat.
No, it's black.
Just black,
it's
a black cat.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Interesting. I wonder if black cats, speaking of it this way, I hear that black dogs are really hard to adopt. And I'm wondering if we'll find out if there are black cats that have the same thing happen.
I'm working in a shelter. They are one of the last cats to be adopted generally. I've seen from experience myself. But continuing on, if you're superstitious, encountering a black cat will fill your heart with glee or horrify you. In the United Kingdom, Ireland, and Japan, a black cat crossing your path is considered to be a lucky omen. And the USA and much of Europe, black cats are considered to be bad luck, however. And then in Germany, things get even more complicated. German superstition dictates that black cats crossing your path from right to left is a bad omen. But they also consider the same cat walking from left to right to bring good luck. So
that is so in detail.
To remember your lefts and rights, to know if you're good or bad on that one.
That's crazy. It's interesting, isn't it, how it changes depending on your culture.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. You want to read the next one?
Yeah, we're on 6 now. Ancient Egyptians worshipped black cats as gods. Are we surprised at all? I am not. I still worship them as gods. So. But the website indicates black cats were truly revered in ancient Egypt. One of the civilization's figure of worship, Bastet, was known as the cat goddess. Black cats that roamed the cities of Egypt were believed to be reincarnations of this goddess. If anybody was caught harming a cat in any way, they were punished.
Right. We continue that at our hospital, don't we?
Yeah. There's more. It's believed that the concept of black cat being lucky originated with ancient Egypt. The legend of a black cat being unlucky stems from Greek mythology. Hera, the wife of Zeus, punished somebody that displeased her by turning her into a black cat. This cat was then banished to the underworld. Superstitious Greeks then began to link black cats with death and afterlife. Wow, this is cool information right here.
Exactly. that was my goddess name. Yoga was fast. Interesting. I don't know if I didn't even realize I picked it and that's what it was. So cool. Some countries consider black cats to be omens of a good love life. Japanese superstition considers a black cat to be lucky. This is even more prevalent for single ladies in the country. It's believed that a single woman with a black cat will attract plentiful eligible suitors. In the Midlands in the UK, the black cat is commonly associated with a happy marriage. It is believed that making a gift of a black cat will ensure a successful union. For this reason, black cat-themed wedding favors, cards, and gifts are very popular. Interesting.
That's neat.
That is neat.
Yeah, you just imagine a wedding that has all
themed
black cats all over the place.
In Scotland, the arrival of the black cat is believed to signify a windfall. So one of the many local superstitions around black cat arises in Scotland. Here is believed that a strange black cat arriving at a doorstep signals impending money.
Ooh, I like that one too.
And maybe that's why they're coming around your house lately.
Maybe I'm going to get extra money.
Number 9, fishermen and sailors always welcomed black cats on their boats. Again, I'm not surprised because of all these Caribbean pirate movies. You always see a cat on the ship. I like that a lot.
Oh, that's true.
The website indicates black cats played a prominent role in early fishing expeditions. It was custom to bring a cat aboard to keep mice at bay. This feline would be referred as a mouser. Black cats were particularly sought after, though, as they were considered to bring good fortune. It was believed that having a black cat aboard a vessel meant it would never sink. Oh, nice.
Interesting.
Naturally, this meant that black cats became hugely sought after shipmates. I like the word Mouser here, because it really feels like they have a job they get paid for.
Right. Well, they did. They got all those mice to,
that's pretty cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Oh, if it wasn't possible to have black cats on board, sailors' wives would keep one at home. Some fishermen and boat captains could not afford these lucky charms as they became so valuable.
Wow. So now they're really hard to adopt, but back then they were on such demand that you couldn't even find one.
And this is quite different than them being considered unlucky.
Right.
This sounds really like more precious situation.
Number 10, pirates were very superstitious about black cats. Life on a fishing boat was simple. The same was not true of pirate ships. 18th century privateers and buccaneers were extremely superstitious about black cats with a list of rules. The most prominent of these was the direction a black cat was heading in. Pirates believed that if a black cat approached them, they were cursed with bad luck. They also thought a black cat walking away signified good fortune. If the cat climbed onto the ship, then off again, many pirates would leave too. This was believed to be an omen that the ship would sink. Interesting. That's
Number 11, black cats have been associated with witches since the 17th century. So black cats have long been linked and associated with witches. This kind of started back in the 17th century during the Salem witch trials. Black cats were seen as devilish and satanic by puritanical souls, and this led them to being outcasts and made strays. Many women of the time would take care of the stray cats, feeding and sheltering them. That would have been me. During the hysteria of the period, these women were accused of witchcraft for the possible reason. Due to the innate distrust of black cats, they were often tried alongside the women. Black cats were believed to be working in conjunction with witches to plot terrible deeds. Some especially superstitious individuals even believed that witches could turn into black cats. So, to this day, black cats are associated with witchcraft in pop culture, and it's a mainstay at Halloween imagery. It's both a blessing and a curse. It raises awareness of animals, but further enhances the superstition surrounding them. I had never heard that cats went on trial with the witches. That is very interesting.
And kind of sad, too.
They got the same fate as witches did.
And when it actually put a thought to my head as a small child that when school we used to do the witches things, but then we would cut out black cats as part of the Halloween thing too. As you know, when you would do an art project and black cats, so it was a pumpkin and a black cat always. I hadn't even thought about it for a number of years there.
We're on 12 now?
Yes.
Shelters do not struggle to rehome black cats. It's a myth that shelters struggle to find homes for black cats. I guess Bre will tell us a little bit more about that too, but reports often circulate that black cats are left behind and not adopted. This is blamed on superstition and the fact that black cats do not photograph naturally. It's claimed that people looking online consider black cats to look unfriendly. That's weird. This is because it's tricky to capture black cat's beauty with a camera. I agree with that. Yeah. It takes a particular angle and lighting to complement shadow. The fact is, though, black cats are adopted at a fair and happy rate. Little note there, it's so hard for me to take pictures of Mr. Kitty, who is just a black cat, by the way, that who I own, or who owns me.
Get this right.
And the others are so easy to take pictures, so I definitely agree with that part. It's true that there are more black cats in shelters than other colors. However, it's also true that more black cats are left at shelters than other colors. For now, take solace from black cats standing an equal chance of finding a forever home. Nice. You agree with that, Bre?
I think that black cats are usually not adopted first off just because they're kind of, people view them as not, you see a white cat or a cat with lots of different colors, like a calico, and it's just something more unique. I don't think people have the superstition of not adopting them, though. I would say that that's probably false. I don't think people avoid adopting black cats because they believe in all those, all the hocus pocus up behind it. But I would say that they're usually not the first adopted in a shelter, in my experience. So
might be because they're not, like you said, uniquely marked. I think that sometimes draws us to adopting or seeing one. It's like, oh, look at how cute those colors
when you
are.
talk about photographing them, I often wonder, if my cat got lost, because I have a black cat too named Frankie, I'm like, would I be able to distinguish? Because they can look so similar, just the all all black.
That's a really good point.
Number 13, which is the number we're on now, many shelters do not allow black cats to be adopted in October. Sadly, this fact is not a myth. As superstition still abounds, many shelters will not allow black cats to be adopted in October. Sad but true, crimes against black cats sharply rise around Halloween time. Shelters keep their black cats during this period for their safety. There are fears that people will adopt a black cat with ill intent. There is also the risk of well-being but selfish people adopting black cats as Halloween prop. Rehoming a cat takes patience and understanding. Returning a cat to a shelter the day after a party will make the animal insecure. If you're looking to adopt a black cat, make plans well in advance of October. It's important that you have a bond established with your feline at this point. You may want to keep them home at Halloween, and building trust will make that easier.
You know, I would like to stop us on this list, on this topic right now, and then do the second part maybe like next week in October.
That sounds great.
And the reason why I'm saying that is I think this last one that you just read is so important as we are starting October.
Yes.
And it's something as a hospital we would like to underline too. And Bre is really good at posting stuff on Facebook and Instagram of our hospital to warn people what happens. I mean, it's sad that we have to do this, like people actually like to do this bad stuff, but I think it's a great place for us to stick with number 13. It's the number, it's our episode number,
yes.
It's the superstitious number, it's the superstition of black cats that we don't agree with. So I think we should talk about that a little bit and then close with that. What do you think?
I think that sounds great.
Yeah. So what do you want to just add something as we close about this October Halloween / black cats? I mean, is it true the shelters don't adopt it?
It depends on the shelter. I believe Butte Humane, which is local here, does not adopt out for a time period around the holiday of Halloween. I do know the actual shelter on Fair Street, the Chico Animal Shelter, they don't have a policy like that.
Wow.
So, you know, it's sad because things do happen and you would think you wouldn't have to put such a rule in place, but I think it's better to be safe than sorry personally, because there are still people out there who have those superstitions.
And you have a black cat, right? Mm-hmm. And I have a black cat too. And I feel like even as an owner, you feel a little bit nervous when October comes about your cat. Like, what if my cat escaped? Yeah, and somebody sees my cat. Like, you just have this weird feeling of...
Yeah, black cats especially. But I mean, I would keep any cat in over just...
Agreed.
Over that night. Just it's one night, keep them inside, keep them safe. So
absolutely. And I don't have any black cats, but I do the same thing. They have to be in for Halloween.
Yeah. I think that's a good idea. Really I think we should stop right here and maybe continue with the rest of the list next week or the week after, that depending. And maybe we can share the rest of the list and have a little bit more interesting information about black cats.
We have lots of information. I think we have 14 more, so we're good.
We go.
Awesome.
All right.
Great. Thanks, Sam.
Absolutely. But before we close, just again, ChicoCats.com is a great place to learn about a lot of stuff about cats, but also listen to our podcast there. On Spotify, you can search for Chico Hospital for Cats podcast. It will pop up. And on Apple Podcasts, we are available as well. Mm-hmm. So those are places people can listen to us. And
you can also hear us on YouTube. There's no visual, but you can at least hear us.
Exactly. We do try to upload every episode on YouTube as well. And thanks for listening to us again. Thank you, Bre, for joining us. Thanks, Cheryl.
Thank you, Sam.
And we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.